Now listen, you blokes, this is a segment for you, but, ladies, this is essentially a segment for him through you. It's about you, all right? So it's official. There's now no excuse for men to avoid the kitchen. Chef and restaurant owner Bobby Jewell is giving a helping hand to struggling men right across Australia. He has written the book I have in front of me right here, The Lads Chef Cookbook, which I reckon is tailor-made for culinary challenged Aussie blokes like yours truly. For today's Good Tucker segment, Bobby is in the studio. Thank you for coming in, mate.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
First of all, what struck me about this great book are the scenarios at the front. These are the chapter headings, are they?
They are, yeah.
Okay. You've got broke, hungry and missing mum and a whole heap of recipes for that. You've got dinner parties. You've got Sunday barbies. If you're feeling ill. You've got hangover cures. You've got Friday night with the boys. Bring that on. Winter warmers, romantic dinners and party time. Mate, you have nailed it.
Exactly. That's the idea behind it, is give people scenarios, because us blokes, you know, you get a bit bamboozled, so to speak, when you're going through recipe books, looking through to find recipes. And so what we've done there is given everyone these scenarios. Friday night in with the boys, you know, just flick to that section, you've got the whole menu there prepared for you.
You came out to Australia when you were 18?
Yes,
right?
Correct, yeah.
How do you reckon Australian men rate as cooks? Say with, you know, compare, say, the British.
Well, I think we're very lucky and blessed over here to have such wonderful seafood and wonderful fresh produce, which does encourage us more to cook at home and cook on the barbies. And of course, we were talking earlier about the barbecues. Barbecues are well known for being Australian, so you know you're forced into it. A hot summer day, whack it on the barbie. Why not? Yeah,
I've just cleaned the barbie up, and we're making a start tonight. You see, on the barbie, and I've got it all sorted out. But during the winter months, mate, the barbie gets put away in mothballs, and therefore the cooking is left, I'm sorry to say, to my wife. And this causes some consternation at home, because all of a sudden I'm not pulling my weight when it comes to cooking. So this might get me through this. Go through some of the recipes. I know you've got things like, you know, your roasts. You've also got the lamb dishes, but also your prawn dishes and other things you can make. If you were to put together the top most popular 5 and easy recipes for blokes, what would it be?
Well, it has to be the simple ones. I mean, I like the idea about having chuck something in the oven and you can go off and do something else for 5 or 6 hours and come back and have it done. So your Sunday roast section is very good for that. I mean, there's pork shoulder, which is you can just chuck in the oven and cook it for about 6 or 7 hours, really.
And I find if you go to the butcher, they do give you tips about what sort of meat they're giving you.
And they'll prepare it for you as well. If you go to a good butcher and you say to him, you know, I'm cooking lamb shanks, can you French them up, or whatever you want to do. The butchers, that's what they're there for. Use them. Use these professionals to make your meat nice and perfect for you. Score the top of it, however you want it done. So it's all ready, so you really have less to do in the kitchen.
Give me a tip for lamb shank. How long, at what temperature should you cook lamb shanks, the perfect lamb shank?
I like cooking them about 180 degrees, and I cook mine for about 2.5 hours. But the idea behind it is I always dust mine in seasoned flour first, so salt and pepper and flour, dust it in that, and then really fry them off and get some really nice caramelisation on the outside of the lamb shanks, and then chuck them in the oven, covered in loads of stock and red wine and tomatoes and whole bits of vegetables. Don't worry about it. Mush it all in. It's all good.
That's a good tip. And at only 180 degrees?
Yeah. And cover it, so they sort of steam.
And what are you covering? Are you covering it in foil?
Yeah, foil. And then you always just look at it. Look in. And what the flour does is the flour makes the sauce nice and thick, so it thickens it up like a thickening agent. So nice and thick makes it all beautiful. And some red wine vinegar makes it really red wine taste.
Okay, now, what would be the most... Okay, that's one, and those dishes that are simple and you wait for a certain time and you can do... What about some other dishes?
So the other ones are like quick and easy stuff. I mean, using our lamb, we're so lucky over in this beautiful country to have amazing lamb. Yeah. Lamb cutlets, so easy, so quick. Yeah. Just a bit of salt, pepper, sear either side, maybe a bit of balsamic vinegar in the pan as well, because that really caramelizes around the outside.
I'm doing this tonight, mate. Yeah. This is what's all important, balsamic vinegar as well.
Yeah, so when you pan frying them, splash of balsamic vinegar on the outside. It really caramelizes on the outside of them, makes them all good. Really, 2.5 minutes will do it fine. You can let them to rest and serve that with a nice salad. Beautiful.
I've done a couple of cooking barbecue classes, right, with the barbecue school who help our program here from time to time, and I find now that I go to other people's places, sometimes they overcook their lamb cutlets, etc.
Yeah.
That is an Aussie thing to do. We overcook our meat on the barbecue.
It's because you don't let it to rest. Well, my little trick, when I like doing barbecues, is I have a really, really hot section, and then I have a section, if I'm using coals, you have loads of coals up here, then you spread them out lightly so there's less coals on one side. So you start your cooking off here on this side, really get it going, and then you slowly move your meat as it starts being done over to the cooler side, so it rests, and the meat then when you rest meat, it basically relaxes, and all the juices sort of settle down. So, you know when you get a steak and you cut into it and all this blood comes out of it? You don't want that. It means it hasn't been rested. You want to just leave it, let it rest for a few minutes, keep it nice and warm, but it's all relaxed, so it's nice and tender.
Okay, that's good. Now, what about a good seafood dish you think that blokes could handle pretty simply?
Mussels. Definitely mussels, because mussels, everyone goes, mussels? But they are so easy, and one of the first things I ever seafood I ate was mussels, and the mussels dish that's in that book is so simple, so easy, loads of garlic, loads of capsicum.
So first of all, let's purchase the mussels. You don't need to purchase them individually. You can get mussels in those big plastic...
Yeah, I wouldn't go around getting those ones. No, I don't. Well, that's just me personally. I don't like them packaged up. No. I like go down to the fish markets.
Yeah.
Just get a kilo of 1 kilo's worth per one serve, basically.
Right.
So if you've got 2 people, 2 kilos.
Right.
Yeah. Buy you 2 kilos of mussels. You got to de-beard them a bit. They can do that for you down at the fish markets if you want them to.
Yeah.
But it's really easy to do. You just grab the little fluffy bit and de-beard it, and then you get your ingredients ready and just chuck it in a pan. They take 15 minutes, if that, and it's so good and really impressive as well, because people think, wow, you're cooking mussels. You must know a thing or two.
That's good. All right. White wine in the mussels?
Yeah, of course. So you slice up your onion, your capsicum, your garlic, loads of garlic, chuck it in there. Cook it all up, splash some white wine in there, chuck your mussels in, let it steam, let it open up, can of tomatoes, some chilli if you want. Well, good.
You know, in many ways, this is the secret to romance about cooking in the kitchen, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, people have always said a way to a girl's heart is for a guy's heart is for his tummy. I reckon the way to a girl's heart as well is for her tummy. You cook for your mum, she'll love it.
The older I get, the more I agree with exactly what you're saying.
You cook for your girlfriend, she'll love it.
What would be, say for instance you were meeting someone for the first time, for our younger audience, or maybe for our older audiences who are meeting someone else as well, what would be the most romantic dish that person, bloke could make for a woman?
Well, you'd have to suss the lady out first of all. But once
if he doesn't eat meat.
Exactly, a vegetarian, oh dear. Well, what we should do though is, I like to start. If you're inviting round for a romantic dinner, start her off with you can buy a cheap bottle of bubbly and make a champagne cocktail. Just means when she arrives, you've got something to give her, and it's on the cheap as well. But it's always good, and she's quite impressed because it's not just a glass of sparkling. It's like, ooh, look at this cocktail, and that gives you time to prep your entree and then prep your main, and then just do simple entree, whatever you want to use. You can either do simple salad if you want, if she's a vegetarian, or you can go for the mussels for an entree. Bosh, there we go. Kick it in with a big one, followed by a main course of a pan-fried piece of fish on some beautiful green veggies, and then a dessert. Prep it the day before, like a creme brulee, or if you want to do it really quick, if it's really hot summer's night, some strawberries, sugar and balsamic with a bit of whipped cream over the top of that. Wicked.
Wicked, all right. Now, I want to get to one dessert before we let you go. And the other thing about this great book, and again, it's Bobby Jules, The Lad's Chef Cookbook, and I would have thought, ladies, this would be the perfect nudge, nudge, wink, wink, by buying this and then giving it to your bloke at Christmas time.
Exactly, Christmas presents.
So,
son, husband, boyfriend.
Love it. Now, I'm a rhubarb fanatic. Rhubarb and apple crumble. When I see my wife put together rhubarb and apple crumble, I think I could never, ever do that. Could I?
You could. So easy.
What? How?
Just chop up your apples. Make sure you've got some nice sweet apples. Rhubarb as well. Rhubarb's very sour, so what you want to do is chuck in some sugar in there as well. So always complement the sweet and sour, what you got going on there. Yeah. And it's just about stewing it. All you're doing is stewing that base up and then putting your crumble over the top. And do it in a nice big pan, and you've got this rustic crumble, which is really classic and really nice.
It's a good little, and it's only 45 minutes preparation time, cooking time an hour and a bit.
Easy.
To that.
Easy.
James, go for your life. Bobby is listening.
G'day, Chrissy boy. How are you, mate?
We're very well.
G'day, Bob.
G'day, mate. How are you?
We're talking about romantic food night, mate. When now my wife, but my girlfriend opened for romantic tea. It was a nice chicken chasseur.
Oh, yeah?
With scallop potatoes, fresh beans, and also a handful of carrots, honey, cooked in honey.
I love honey and carrots.
Tasty cheese over the top, and a couple of glasses of wine, and to speak now, I married her.
Well done.
Must have worked.
It did work, Chris.
All right, well, that'll be in his next The Lad's Chef Cookbook Mark II, all right?
The married chef.
the married chef. Why not? Thank you for the tip, James. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you, mate. There you go. You'll have to do that. The Married Chef.
Yeah,
I like
the Married
that.
Chef.
But it's a beauty. The Lad Chef cookbook, so there's no excuses, and you'll have to sign this for me before you go, mate. Thank you for coming in.
No worries. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Bobby Jewell, get hold of that, and they are simple recipes. Like, there is no excuse, and a lot of them are barbecue-based as you flick through them, and I love those topics. Friday night with the boys, winter warmers, romantic dinners, hangover cures, feeling ill, all of that, Sunday barbecues. Have a look at that book, the Lad Chef's Cookbook. It's 19 to 3. This is Chris Smith in the afternoon.